All right, Nick. Took a little while. YouTube wanting to cooperate. The go live button just wasn't available for what seemed like an eternity when the bottom of the ninth was transpiring. Brock Burke coming in to shut the door down here in the bottom of the ninth. And hopefully, if he does, the Reds have a chance in the top of the 10th.
You trying to tease me with free baseball, Trace?
Exactly. Just what I was looking for Reds.tv. I need all the value that I can get because the amount of money that I pay for this service isn't quite enough based off what I watch. So I need more baseball.
You know, I gotta give a shout out to the .tv folks because yours truly made a little mistake. You know, I signed up for Guardians TV. When the Reds played the Guardians, had a 7-day trial, obviously with the intention to cancel it, and I forgot to. Had a little $70 charge on the card. Can't believe it's still $70 this late in the season. And I messaged them and said, I explained the situation, and they refunded me. Full refund.
That's impressive, actually. So basically what you did was you admitted that you were trying to work around the system by getting Guardians TV while your team that you wanted to watch was in town. And based off the current protocols, they don't want you to be able to do that because they want you to go to the game, theoretically, because of the blackout, of course.
Well, the Guardians were in Cincinnati. I did go to the games in Cleveland.
So you couldn't watch them on Guardians TV while you were in Cincinnati? While they were in Cincinnati?
No. Yeah, I'm blacked out of the Reds when they play the Guardians because I'm blacked out of the Guardians. They're the only team that I am unable to watch on MLB TV because I don't have the Guardians package. I just have the – if someone in Cincinnati wanted just MLB TV, they would be blacked out of the Reds. And the Reds would be the only team they would be unable to watch.
Understood. I get it now. So you didn't actually
I was
have
honest.
Reds TV. I see.
No, I didn't have Reds. No.
I'm following. You actually just took the smarter route, which was you took the whole entire league, assuming that you were going to be able to watch the Reds, obviously,
which was actually free. Which actually free because I have T-Mobile, so I don't pay anything. The one benefit of living outside of Cincinnati is I don't have to pay at all. Now I pay for a lot of other things.
I thought that ball, Nick, if I'm being completely frank. Why do I keep saying that? It's a completely frank thing.
Oh, I thought that ball. Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah, I thought that ball was hit maybe 30, 40 rows up there, but turns out, no.
I kind of thought the one Tyler Stevenson hit, too, was hit a lot farther than it was. It was one that I think ended up going foul, but it was kind of deceiving, too, in the 8th inning.
That guy that just hit that ball had to have felt that it was a home run because the way that he stood there and admired it. And Burke kind of made it seem like he thought it was a home run, too, because he kind of gave it one of those like little half glances and started kind of walking.
I don't know. Do the White Sox have like that same Wrigley effect?
Yeah, but opposite direction at time. Well, I guess Wrigley has it all over as well.
Yeah.
I would think that they wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, I know it's the Windy City, but I think most of the wind obviously is coming from the lake effect to a certain extent. And I don't really know my geography that well in Chicago, but I know that the Chicago Stadium isn't near the lake, but maybe it is. Maybe people will correct me. I got to be honest, I don't care enough to know. I really don't mind whether the White Sox have a lake effect win or not. I don't really care. I guess theoretically I should care tonight, but I'm glad that ball didn't go over the fence. There's that.
Shout out to Justin LeBron, 2 hits in his Reds organizational debut. 20 minutes away from me, but I'm here watching the Cincinnati Reds live on TV.
Yeah. I got some super chats coming in already from FlatRock79. Says, oh, look, it's the reason I'm still watching the Reds lately. Nick and Trace, thanks for giving us a space to get this bull junk out of our system. No problem.
Flat Rock.
Be here, Flat Rock.
Flat Rock, ditto. You're the only reason I'm watching the Reds right now.
Yeah. Literally. I got to tell you, man, it's There are legit fans that are still tuning in on a nightly basis right now. I got to give it to them. If you're tuning in on a nightly basis at this tenure of the season, you're a go-getter. All right, Nick, we got McLean as the Manfred man, as we call it on this show from time to time. And we got the new guy in town coming up, and Taglia, who's trying to drive him in.
Is it Tolia? Is that
pronunciation?
Is that a silent
on this show.
G?
It probably is. I didn't listen to the broadcast all night. Actually, I did listen to the broadcast, and I was listening to 700s, and then it started flaking out like it was like getting that static noise, which I didn't know that was possible on digital platforms. It sounded like it was coming in and out of the radio, like when you're driving, it was scratchy. Mm-hmm. So my wife literally told me, because I was gonna just power through it, Nick. I didn't really care, but I was told by my wife, did he hit that out? No. Did he do a job though? He did a job, Nick. We got to sync up.
We might we need to sync.
But my wife told me I had to get it. I had to just turn it off. She wasn't going to listen to it. So
my wife would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, she's like, "Well, I'm not listening to the scratchy sound." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I just hit the mute button instead of going back to the TV broadcast. I just hit the mute button. Why, I don't know, but all right, let's sync up. We got 4-4, top 10, 1 out. Guy on third base, which is McLean. Infield is in. Ellie De La Cruz at the plate, and they are going to pitch to him. Ball does get hit, Nick, and I'm going to pause it right when he catches it.
All right.
You tell me when he catches this
Ball
in center field.
Center fielder getting under it. He makes the catch.
Okay. McLean tags and scores. We just did a beautiful small ball. Get him over. Get him in. That's what this Tito baseball team's supposed to be about, Nick. The fundamentals. The fundamentals, my friend.
Congrats to Michael Tolia, who now will be your starting first baseman for the rest of the season.
Yeah, actually might be extended for next season.
He already is under contract.
Well, he'll be treated as if
he will not be non-tendered.
He'll be treated
will not be non-tendered.
Be treated like he got picked up in the Rule 5 draft, like Josh Hamilton that one year, where he's just going to be on the roster at all times, no matter what. As the kids say, he doesn't know ball. It's back there, challenging pitches that miss by an inch. Ellie, see, the thing that people don't really give Ellie credit for, that I've said 100 times on the show, I'm going to say it one more time, is just the inability to do things with him that you would otherwise other guys. So what I mean by that is that earlier in the game, which I'm ruining things that I'm going to probably talk about in this show, earlier in the game, he takes second base on a fly ball to right field that no one else probably even tries to challenge it. That winds up being a big move because he winds up coming around and scoring to help tie the game. But I digress. That right there is a perfect situation where you would traditionally walk a leadoff hitter of the caliber of Ellie to set up the double play. But you can't do that because you think that he might just take second base on the very first pitch. So now you got essentially the Manfred man's already scoring, and you got the leadoff guy scoring as well. So he's just such a good player. I wish people would at least recognize that he's our best player. That's all I'm asking.
I don't disagree with that. I also think the left on left and Sal's ability to hit left-handed pitching also probably played a big part of it as well. You didn't want to put 2 runners on base for Sal Stewart.
Well, that was a double play ball right there that Sal Stewart just hit. He also grounded into double plays multiple times in the previous series. That was a big deal. So I'm just telling you, if you think that I'm not walking that guy right there with a guy on third base to set up a double play with a guy that is capable of hitting into a double play, I think you're crazy.
I would have pitched it to Ellie De La Cruz as an Ellie. Take speed out of it. I still would have pitched Ellie De La Cruz.
No, not me.
Sal Stewart has a 903 OPS against left-handed pitching.
Well, he just bounced into a double play right there. How's that for 9:03? That would have been a 5-4-3, Nick, and it would have been an ending inning.
We're down to 895 now.
In an inning-ending double play, and you wouldn't even have scored the Manfred man. They would have gotten out of that inning with no runs. Just playing it out. Just saying, playing it out, Nick. Just seeing what I see. But you can't do that because Ellie would have stole second base. Or conceivably might have stolen second base.
I got to pull up the run expectancy matrix here. All right, so we have runner on third, no outs. Runner on third, one out. You're expected to score 0.86 runs. First and third, one out, 1.31 runs. It's a little different because you are in a 10th inning, the last inning, so I will give you that. But I'm not worried about that Manfred man as the home team there. And with the situation with Sal's ability to crush left-handed pitching. Wow. Antonacci. It's a
Big
fun
league
name.
Yeah, big league name.
It's almost like that Yastrzemski.
Does this count as a blown save, or is this just kind of a wash on the scorecards when you get the Manfred man?
I don't think it counts as so if he gives up
the Manfred man, yeah.
I don't think it's a blown save.
Yeah.
It's
Chad,
not an earn run,
but
it's a team run.
That's fair. It should not be one, to be clear. But if he does get the save, it's almost like you get the save because you it's a freebie. You get a free save if you don't give up the Manfred man.
Yeah.
Big strikeout if we can get it, Nick.
Or maybe you just don't give him the blown save, you give him the win.
Possible, yeah, that's true. But then somebody would have to get the save the next inning if you were to play into the 10th or 11th. I don't know. Let's just strike this guy out. It broke his back, cowboy.
Oh, AI says yes. If you enter an extra innings with a lead and allow the ghost runner on second base, you're charged with a blown save.
That's brutal.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I do not agree with
lies,
that.
Though. AI
it does.
lies.
It does.
But we're on the same page. We can go to bat. We can go to bat for maybe they'll get that fixed in the CBA.
Yeah.
Feels like Pagan's going to have to throw that splitter, and it's going to have to do what it normally does in order to get this guy out.
It says you get the loss too. If this would have been a tie game. But it's not an earned run. I do know that. I don't know.
Well, which is why there was advanced metrics that have been created by human beings to try to showcase whether or not players are actually good or not good based off of other metrics instead of the ones that we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Exactly what we're talking about is the exact reason somebody decided that they're gonna go out of their way and find some different stats.
Shout out to you, Bill James.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many more of these four-seam fastballs that are in the middle of the plate are going to be not hit well, but we'll take it.
Shout out to the Chattanooga Lookouts. They just put up a 3 spot in the top of the 9th to tie the game and force extra innings against Montgomery.
Hey.
Or not to force the bottom of the 9th. They're on the road, but nonetheless, to stay alive.
Splitter for a strikeout. Need it. Is that in play? No. We're throwing 95 middle fastballs, and we're.
Does this guy not have the name for a guy that just fouls off 15 pitches in a row?
No.
That Antonacci, man, he's a tough at bat.
I was expecting his OPS to be pretty bad, and I was going to make fun of that, but no, his OPS isn't that bad at all. Dude.
I was expecting his on-base percentage to be higher than his slugging percentage.
Yeah. It's hitting for a good average.
No schlep at the plate.
No schlep. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. This is one of those deals where everybody's going to give you credit because you had a good at bat, but you still need to get a job done here if you're this Antonacci. Well, I don't know how many pitches this is, but they're gonna have to show the graphic here in a second. It's been that many. There it is. 11 pitches. I knew that was coming. Feels like when you get this late into the at-bat, Nick, you do start chasing a little bit more than you would have earlier in the at-bat because you kind of get in swing mode. We'll see if he does that here.
Also seeing the ball probably a little better.
You can say he's seeing the ball better, but I'd also counter that argument in saying that he's not seeing it that great because he's gotten about 7 95-mile-an-hour fastballs right down the middle, and he's not done anything with them. Now, he's fouled them off. I'll give him that, but he's just battling. He's in swing mode. I think he chases one if he throws a splitter and down in the zone. I really do. He's swinging.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think they don't want to walk him, and at this point, throwing that splitter right here, it's a pretty
I'm assuming
sizable chance it's a ball.
Luis Angel, Acuna's probably a pretty good bunt or two on deck.
Yeah, they're definitely bunting if he gets on base. Bam!
Wow. All right. $14 pitch strikeout.
It's a big pitch by Pagan, man. Good catch by Stevenson, even though he didn't really do anything but the fact that it was in his glove by the time he realized what happened. I guess if you're the White Sox, you're content with letting Acuna hit here. Trying to look at what their bench looks like. I mean, they got Mideroth on their bench.
Seems like they should have went and picked up Eugenio Suarez at the trade deadline.
Yeah, but they have a guy. They have a guy that's got 274 average on the bench. Is that real?
Yeah, 11 home runs.
Yeah, he's good.
And he plays second base.
Yeah. Whatever. They don't want to abuse him, then I don't get that one, but whatever.
Maybe he's dealing with an ailment.
Maybe.
Say maybe the guy's ice cold. Now he's hitting 308 in August.
They also took out Doyle. They took out Doyle earlier. I'm sure that folks that are rooting for the White Sox are not pleased. I'll say this. I understand why we're upset about the fact that the helmet tap came a little bit late, but I don't think that's that late, Nick. I got to be honest.
That's pretty late. It's late. He shook his head. Doesn't matter.
Who's got it? Ellie's got it. All right, folks. Reds win 5-4. Come back from the depths of a place you thought they'd never be able to come back from. Some are asking, is this team back? We'll find out if that's us right after this.
And a bench to bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. That goes to Lindy. And the save. He's done. Get out of here, baseball. He's gone. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep. In the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Here comes Walker. The Reds win the pennant. Perkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Orlando to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club. Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb. Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again. The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Reds win! Line to the right field. Junior, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
Nick, The Reds are victorious. One in which you haven't been able to say in a while, and the truth is that I think that many fans that were watching this game tonight probably felt like there was little to no hope of this team bouncing back, coming back. The offense looked abysmal for most of the night. And then there you go. You got the Rally Reds, a little version of when this show started. You got an excellent outing from your bullpen to kind of give yourself even a chance to make a comeback. And then you get a sizable performance in the 10th inning between getting guys over and then getting them in, and then ultimately having Pagan do an excellent job there in the 10th of getting some strikeouts in a big spot, and then ultimately getting out of the inning with the Manfred man starting at second base without him scoring. So it's nice to see. Reds win 5-4. Some things to talk about, certainly, but as I said before last show, if anyone has any suggestions on kind of where we go with this show at times this year, I'm all for it. I've already got some suggestions, Nick, that I'll get to later in the show. Some people are sending in some mail, some fan mail. Most of the suggestions I actually kind of like. One being the misery hotline, of course. But the other one, there was one that I wasn't so fond of that I won't share. But anyways, Nick, I guess your quick takeaway from the game before we get in the box score recap.
Yeah, shout out to Luis May. Two perfect innings of relief. After Lodolo left the game, really gave this team any sort of chance of coming back. Luis May is the hero tonight in my book.
I tell you what, it's been so long since I've done that on this show. It feels like that's to Luis May, because Luis May was the hero of the game. I mean, let's be honest. He came in, you're like, wow, okay, Louisville May, he's in there, ready to go. And fortunately for him tonight, he's big league May, and I'm happy to see it.
I'm happy to see it as well.
Box score recap.
You ready? You ready to roll?
I'm ready whenever you are, boss.
All right, Reds taking on the Chicago White Sox. But first, Chatterbox Reds brought to you by Sharefax Credit Union. Sharefax, a not-for-profit financial institution owned by its members that returns them through lower fees and better rates in addition to traditional banking options. Sharefax Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender and insured by NCUA. Reds at the White Sox, game 1 of 3 in Chicago. Nick Lodolo making his return against Sean Burke. Lodolo gave up 3 home runs, and he left with the Reds trailing 4-0. Final line for Lodolo, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 0 walks, didn't walk anyone, and did strike out 5. Eugenio Suarez hit his 17th home run of the season in the 5th to make it 4-1. Luis May then threw 2 perfect innings, and Pierce Johnson threw a perfect 7th to keep the Reds in the game. Then in the top of the 8th, Matt McLain, Michael Tolia, his first at-bat with the Reds, and Ellie De La Cruz all led off with 3 straight singles to make it a 4-2 game. Sal Stewart flew out but did move both runners over to second and third. J.J. Bleday then walked to load the bases. Tyler Stevenson singled to tie the game, but Bleday did get caught going too far around second and was gunned down for the second out of the inning. Eugenio Suarez would fly out to end the inning. We would end up going to extras. Michael Tolia and Ellie De La Cruz hit back-to-back sac flies to put the Reds up 5-4, and that brought in Emilio Pagan with the 5-4 lead in the bottom of the 10th. Pagan had a battle with the first batter, Sam Antonacci, but he struck him out on the 14th pitch of the at-bat for the first out of the inning. Pagan then retired the next 2 batters with ease. Reds win 5-4. The 3-game losing streak is over. Reds beat the White Sox in Chicago, a team who entered with 36 wins at home this season, the 4th most in Major League Baseball. Reds now 57-61, and the Reds pick up a game in the wild card race, now 5.5 back of the final wild card spot.
All right, the deep drive of the day comes off the bat of Eugenio Suarez. It's his 17th of the year. Fly ball to left field, 103.5 off the bat, 401 feet. That would give the White Sox still a lead of 4-1. But you know what? It doesn't matter because they would come all the way back and win 5-4, as we know. The deep drive of the day is brought to you by Braxton Brewing Company, the official craft beer partner of the Cincinnati Reds. Crack open a Ballpark Beer, a crisp, German-style light beer crafted perfectly for 9 innings and hot summer nights. You can grab a cold one at Great American Ballpark, Braxton Taprooms, or your local retailer. Braxton Brewing is brewed for Reds country. All right, there's some things that I would say were nice to see. We'll start with the Raleigh Reds. You get a couple what I would call fortunate hits, but I don't mean that as a negative. I just mean that was they weren't hard hit balls, as we know. McLean kind of dribbles one over to the left. I was kind of questioning whether that's an error or whether it's a hit. It did look like, Nick, that he beat it out regardless, so I give him credit for that. And then you have Tolia. I don't know how to say his name. You can tell me here in a minute again. But nonetheless, Big Mike. That's how we do it. Hey, buddy. You know, all those things when you don't know someone's name, you kind of say, "How's it going, pal?" Anyway, long story short, you got a broken bat type single flare over the second baseman's head, and people are going to continue to call me a Matt McLain stan, but I'm going to tell you that was good base running for Matt McLain. He hung out long enough to see whether or not the ball was going to drop or not, and still was able to advance to second base despite the fact it did drop when other base runners could have possibly just hung around first base a little too long, never got to second base, and it would have been a force out at second. But hey, I'm going to keep on trying to build this guy up because I'm telling you it's the fastest way to make this team competitive if he can start playing well. And I know everyone's rolling their eyes and I know everyone's laughing, but I'm still going to continue to try to do it. But that's set the table a bit, Nick. And then you obviously get some big swings from Ellie De La Cruz. You get a big swings from Tyler Stevenson. The next thing you know, you turn that around and you have a tie game. The most disappointing thing, obviously, was maybe the J.J. Bleday overrunning second base for whatever reason. I don't know, but he got bailed out, thankfully. And, we don't have to make that a big storyline tonight that J.J. Bleday made a bonehead mistake. But shout out to Bleday, too, really quickly, because I seen that he was really upset that his elbow guard fell off, and he just decided he was going to throw that back into the dugout. So it'd be curious to see next at bat for J.J. Bleday. Does he have an elbow guard or is he boycotting it for the rest of the season? We shall find out. The things that I'm watching and paying attention to now in Reds games.
Yeah, a game that I'm sure Terry Francona is very thrilled with the outside of the Bleday mistake, the clean baseball that the Reds played. It was nice to see them fight back. A lot of really good work from the bullpen. I mean, all around. This bullpen has pitched really well for the last, 2 months, month and a half, maybe only a month. I don't know. Somewhat in the recent memory, they have pitched pretty well. It has been nice to see them turn this around. And a guy like Luis May is really important to this team. When he came back up, there was a lot of little pieces about how Luis May, man, they think he's really figured out how to throw strikes. And you're like, yeah, right. I'll believe that when I see it. Hey, tonight he proved it. He proved it for one night. Looked really good. Probably one of the best efforts you've ever seen from him. And in a spot where the Reds needed some length from him as well. I'm betting Luis May kind of showed a lot in Terry Francona's book tonight in all seriousness, and probably earned a little bit of credibility. And, that's nice for a guy like May because hopefully, the next time he does have one of those bad outings, you can at least play, all right, there's something there. Let's write it out. I would like to see him. I'd like to see a lot of these. I would have liked to have seen a lot of these relievers get traded and see more of the May types kind of get an extended run here at the end of the year. But a guy like May obviously has all the talent in the world. And you desperately need that. As a small market team, you cannot afford to go out and buy Pierce Johnson types. Like, that's not the way you should be spending your money. I don't blame the Reds for doing that with where they were, but that's not the way that you need to do it. So they need guys like May to develop, and that was a really big step tonight.
Well, you've seen the ceiling, like you said. I think you got to see the ceiling of Luis May. Now, whether or not he's capable of pitching towards what that ceiling looks like more times than not, I don't know. I mean, that's the $1 million question. And to your point, the more you get to see it, the more you kind of get an idea of whether or not it's consistent or will become consistent. I think with Luis May, the question I have is it a lack of confidence at times, or is it just purely poor mechanics that are going to, I guess, to a certain extent, cause him not to be able to go out and perform like he did tonight? Now, tonight, maybe is a little bit of an exception. I would say he was exceptional tonight. I don't think he needs to be that good to be a serviceable big leaguer, but you get the point. If it's just confidence, then I think the more and more you can put him out there and the more and more he can gain comfort and confidence, then obviously that would help. But there's always the lingering thought in the back of my head that this guy just is who he is, and he's gonna walk and have control issues far too often for you to be able to trust to put him in big spots. Now, I'd like to think that that's not true, but again, until I'm proven otherwise, that's where I'm at with it. I'll listen. With all due respect to May, he probably doesn't deserve the nickname Louisville May, but it just rolls off the tongue so well that you have to throw it out there once. But I'm going to retire that until it's deserved again, because he did look so good, to be fair. But again, to be clear, with all due respect to his family and everybody, just trying to make the show fun. It's been a tough season, make some people chuckle, but really a really good outing by May. Other than that,
Nick Lodolo?
Yeah, I guess Lodolo is where you go next. They made mention on the broadcast at the beginning of the game that he wasn't probably going to throw more than 75 pitches. So you really can't expect, even if he was pitch efficient, Nick, that he was going to be able to get too deep into the game regardless. You were going to rely on the bullpen no matter what. I don't know. I mean, he gives up a couple home runs. I guess at this point, it's a successful outing. As ridiculous as it is to say, it's a successful outing if he's not hurt, if he doesn't come out of the game. And he shows exactly why you can fall in love with Nick Lodolo, just based off of how much his stuff breaks, his ability to spot fastballs. He is a legitimate top-end arm in this league if he can stay healthy and if he can pitch to the level that he knows how to pitch to. The issue is always just going to be whether or not he's made of glass or if he isn't. And I say made of glass, not in a negative sense that it's his fault, but just because that's just what it is. He doesn't really have the ability to be able to be consistent because of the finger. So I don't know. What did you make out of his outing, if anything, outside of what I said?
Yeah, I mean, he made a few mistakes. It was nice to see him not walk anyone. He came into tonight and still has career worst walk rate. He's walking almost 4 batters per 9 innings. And I know it's not a super small sample. He'd only made 12 starts all year, but that was kind of a little bit of a concern was that he wasn't able to throw strikes, and you wonder if a lot of that was the blister and the changing of the grips and all that kind of stuff. So at least from that perspective alone tonight, he was able to throw strikes, and he's just a wild card at this point. I mean, that's what he is. I mean, I don't think you can go into next season and be like, yeah, we got XX and Lodolo, and you can't have him be one of your guys. You say, this is why we can win a playoff series. But you can also still recognize that he could get Cy Young votes in 2027. Like that's kind of where he's at. Like, he could be a guy that makes a few starts and the blister is constantly an issue, or maybe even does pitch well, maybe even does stay relatively healthy, but he's not an elite starter. But we have seen him at times be an elite starter, and especially when we're looking at a 60, 80 game season, you could have Nick Lodolo, win that Trevor Bauer Mickey Mouse Cy Young.
I'm calling it Mickey Mouse Cy Youngs now. Okay, fair enough. Shots fired. I would say that he's the opposite of Brady Singer, essentially. I think he's exceptionally talented. He can become one of the best arms in the entire league. But again, he's the opposite of Brady Singer in the sense that he's, consistent, and he takes the ball every 5 days. We'll see whether or not, if I had to have, and I guess this is where I kind of teeter-totter on this a little bit, but if I had to have one over the other, I'm taking the Nick Lodolos of the world every time, though, if I'm being honest, because at least Nick Lodolo, to me, presents the opportunity to have a team that can be exceptionally good. When you have the opposite, yes, it's nice to have the consistency factor of someone that can take the ball every 5 days, but if they're just average at best, probably slightly below league average when they're throwing the ball, it's not going to wind up all that often that you're happy at the end of the game because you got a good result. So I guess as much as I'm frustrated with Nick Lodolo, I still will live with it. I'm going to go and die on the hill as I've always have and probably will forever, that at the last deadline when he had Shohei Ohtani, doing the whole meme of his eyeballs looking like bug eyes, and he was quite literally never had looked better in his entirety of his career. How we didn't capitalize on that opportunity, I'll never know, and it will always bug me. But now that we haven't, I'll move forward and just say that I'm hopeful that he can stay healthy, and we'll see if he can provide maybe in a shortened season in 2027, the value that you're looking for. But it's hard to believe.
Yeah, I mean, a year ago, like, you go back to Baseball Reference, and there's Nick Lodolo's face second in the wins above replacement leaders on the entire team. This guy was a 4.7 Baseball Reference version, wins above replacement pitcher, only behind Andrew Abbott, who was ahead of Hunter Green, he was ahead of Ellie De La Cruz last year. So, like, yeah, I mean, that was a season ago. It feels like a lifetime ago. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't, but last year, man, he was really, really good, and he did make 28 starts in a weird bullpen game in Milwaukee. But yeah, it's a wild card, hell of a wild card, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's on our roster. I mean, we've just been snake bitten so much at Reds as Reds fans. I think that you become pessimistic. You become extremely pessimistic far too fast when it comes to injuries. I mean, it just go down the list of guys that have come here since my childhood that you expected to have, a major impact. And you can go all the way back to Griffey and then, basically work your way up from there. And you've had guys that have unfortunately not been able to stay healthy and be the player that you thought they could be. And Nick Lodolo is on that list. And then I'm worried that Hunter Green obviously will be now too. But I guess we move on, and we're hopeful that that brighter days are ahead for Nick Lodolo. So speaking of brighter days ahead, Nick, if you're in a spot where you think that you're on to something, some are saying there's one place that you can go to kind of start to seal the deal, or at least give it some thought. Nick, Richter and Phillips.
Yeah, Richter and Phillips now has first look appointments. That's an appointment designed for people just starting out in their engagement ring journey. You can try on engagement rings in person, compare styles, ask questions, and learn at your own pace with a dedicated jewelry specialist. It's perfect for shopping solo or with your partner. Richter and Phillips available on Thursday evenings when they're open late between 5 to 8 p.m. You can book on Richter and Phillips' website or using the link in our podcast description.
All right, we do have some super chats. Let's get to those right now. Obviously, I already got to Flat Rock during the game itself. Jacob Doyle says, 7 innings in, and I was worried that you guys were going to have a 15-minute show tonight, but at least there's something to talk about. That there is. There was a nice little rally Reds there that got us back into it, and then it was nice to see us do essentially perfect small ball execution there in the 10th to score the Manfred man, and you wind up winning. Schmick says, Ellie stepped up big tonight like the best player should be doing. If we replace McLean with Steele Hall before September, we're going to be competing. He's a Steele Hall stan. Schmick is a Steele Hall guy, although I know that there's a lot of, I think, what I would call humor.
I thought I was the high guy on Steele Hall. But I am sorry,
Schmick's got it taken care of.
My apologies.
Yeah. Mad Schmupper Jimmer something. Can't really read that on the YouTube version I have here. But he says, great win tonight, Nick. Trace, thank you guys for helping provide such a cool hangout for us through the highs and the lows, wins and the losses. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I mean, it's not, I know you thank us, but we really thank you. I'll be honest. We never knew what this position was going to be before we got here. We really never have been here before. We were there in 2023 at the beginning, but nobody knew who we were. We just started this show. We had like 10 people in the chat. Opening day was like 30 people. And we were going to do it regardless because, we said we were going to do it, and we were going to see ultimately what ended up happening. Reds go on a 12-game winning streak. The show turns into fire. Everybody's in here. We're excited. We got the 2023 Rally Reds of all teams. They take it, even though, more than likely wasn't going to happen, but they take it all the way until the last day of the season, until they're officially dead. And then you get into 2024, and, even though that year was maybe not as successful as everyone hoped, it still wasn't a complete abomination. And then you get into, obviously, last year, they make the postseason, and then this is the year we finally have ran into some tough luck where things don't look very bright. And you know what? We still have a significant amount of people in here on a nightly basis, and that is a kudos to you and thanks to all of you. So, Marcus Redlegs retracted his message. Not sure what he wanted to say, but he did come in again and said, still on the wall. You're back there. I mean, you see it. You can see it. I don't know how to focus it, but it's back there. It'll be back there till the end of the year. Slump Buster, Carolyn. It's got to be Carolyn. Carolyn Boone, Marcus Redlegs, and Ned Flanders. They're back there, and they won't be going anywhere. Schmick says, John says we need Espinal instead of Steele if we're waiting to be a serious team. John loves Espinal, and I think that, to be honest with you, at this point, you got to admire the fact that he loves him so much. Where can John watch Espinal now? He's got to have an MILB at this point, I'd assume.
I don't know. Find that out on the fly.
Right.
Currently a free agent.
He is?
Oh,
damn.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Nobody wants him? He's probably asking for too much. I mean, because he's probably asking.
He's a born leader. I mean, he's got about 19 days to get himself on a roster so he can be playoff eligible.
19 days. Never know. You never know. But we'll see. I'm surprised the Dodgers didn't want to keep him on the roster.
Well, they got all their use out of him, apparently.
Interesting. Yeah, weird. I don't know. All right. Trace's Choice. I love when these are on here because I have nowhere to go at this point. I'm going to say that
you said you had like 16 topics you wanted to go over, so that was your
I did?
Trace's Choice.
Did I? I said I had 16.
You said you got fan mail or something.
Well, I did have fan mail. In fact, now that you say it, here, I'll bring it up. Live on the fly, in the flesh. If you got
I'll change it to fan mail on the ticker for you to make sure.
Yeah, sure. Exactly whatever you want it to be. It says, I'll keep the person anonymous because I don't know if they want it. It says, Reds podcast listener here. The last episode, you mentioned the show ideas to make it more entertaining considering the poor play. One, he'd like to add guests from other podcasts. I don't think that those people would even want to hang out with us because I don't know how many people like us. But it says, two, there's a misery hotline. That's the one that I liked, actually. Maybe I can find a way to do like the voicemail thing where you can leave a voicemail for us and then we could just kind of play them perhaps on the back end of the shows. That would require more production on my part and me having some expertise and knowledge. So bear with me, but I'm already trying to keep up with what I'm already doing. And then 3 is the daily Bonehead segment. So with that said, I'll do the Bonehead segment today. JJ Bleday had a bonehead play. You cannot possibly be in a spot right there where you could be the go-ahead run in the game on second base already and think to yourself that the other team's going to airmail it to home plate trying to throw Ellie De La Cruz out at home. So what does he do? He turns the corner a little too sharply. The White Sox cut it off, throw him out at second base, and you pretty much kill the entire rally at that moment. And that was the bonehead play of the day. But as I said before, doesn't matter. Reds win.
I mean, if you're a sponsor out there, I mean, what an opportunity to sponsor a segment. The boneheaded play of the day brought to you by
Chew Toys. I gotta find it.
Yeah.
What's a good dog toy? I'll look one up.
The bone. Oh, dog griffin. There you go. Yeah.
You're starting to pick up what I'm putting down.
Took me a second.
The Kong. No free ads, but sponsored by Kong. The bonehead play of the day, sponsored by Kong, is pretty much most innings with the Reds, but not today, thankfully. Nice to see the Reds play better. Disappointing they went into Washington and couldn't find a way to win in the nation's capital. But hey, went to the south side of Chicago and won. Not many people can say that. I mean,
see what you did there.
Am I lying? I'm just saying.
See what you did.
Just saying. Yeah. I went to one game in the south side of Chicago, and they were selling liquor straight out of a cooler right on the side of the road. And I'm thinking, man, is that legal? Turns out, wasn't legal. There was cops there, and about cops there as I was leaving the game. So, but it was a good stadium. I don't want to discourage people from going there. Despite the fact that when someone, I think, had a weapon or something, they had to, delay the game. But that's here nor there. Reds MILB whenever you're ready for it, Nick. I have some more supers that we can get to as well.
Yeah,
if you
go
wanna
and get
jump
to
into
those so I can put a little scoreboard on here.
Yeah, go for it. I am going to go to Chad Williamson, I'm guessing is the name. Let's actually do this because, Craig actually gave me a trick to see the people's names, and I'm just going to actually do it this time. Chad Williamson says, tell me a Ricker and Phillips story. How did Trace and Nick get together? Found you guys last season, and you guys are the best. Maybe have talked about how you guys teamed up, and I missed it. That's a good super chat.
Slid into my DMs, baby.
Yeah. Let's be careful here now, Nick. Let's not have anybody be able to clip something up here that might be, taken out of context. Okay. I know exactly how it went down. So essentially, we were looking around at possibly starting to get into the podcast space for our local teams professionally and collegiately. I am a Reds fan, and I was like, at this point, for me to get back into it, I'm either going to go all in or I'm not. And I asked an open question on Discord, I think, which was, does anybody have like favorite accounts they follow or people that they would recommend of possibly joining us? And Nick, his name got brought up a few different times. There was some others, of course. And then I said, I'm going to see what these guys are about. So I sent Nick a message. I got on the phone with him, and I think literally the thing that he was doing, and I don't think he was doing it as a bit. I don't think that it was like let me show off. Nothing like that, of course. He was watching a Dominican baseball winter league game with Aristides Aquino. And as soon as he said that he was watching it out of the joy because he enjoyed doing it, I thought, okay, this guy's a little psycho, but in a good way, I guess. And secondly, I thought to myself, I asked the specific and direct question, which was, do you think he's good? And he said something along the lines that he still believed in him, of course. And I thought at that moment, in order to have a yin and a yang on this show, a little push and a pull, someone that's not going to probably have the same perception of players that you're going to have or the same opinions, which is what I think makes a good show. I said, this is my guy. Because if a guy can still believe in Aristides Aquino after he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat for years and he was in the Dominican Winter League and he was still willing to watch him play, I thought this is the guy. Got it. So I asked him, I don't know, Nick might have a better story than this, but I don't know. I think I said, listen, if we want to make it in this game, there's a lot of people trying to do this thing, then we need to do something insane, like go live in the 9th inning and do a show after every single Reds game. And I don't know why you said yes, Nick. That seemed like a stupid idea looking back on it now, but you said yes, and we just started doing it, and Nick still wasn't full-time here at all, was doing it quite literally for free. So for people out there that are trying to get their foot in the door and do things in life, sometimes you just got to put some sweat equity in some things, and it ultimately works out for you if you put the right effort into it. And one thing led to another, and Nick, thankfully, through the sponsorships of the show, and obviously I still want to mention DSC and John because he was legitimately like a big reason as to why that all came to be. Nick came on full time, and then he's killed it for us ever since. So that's the origin story, I guess, of how this show started. What did I miss, Nick? I know there's probably some details that I missed there for the most part.
No, that was pretty much it. I saw what you guys were doing at Chatterbox, and I was impressed. I was like, I watched Off the Bench, and I was like, wow, this show looks different than every other, show on YouTube. There's a lot of effort into it, and I don't know. I didn't have like super crazy high expectations when we started this, but I thought, hey, you know what? How often am I going to get a chance to do something like this with the company that's investing in it? And we did it, and I don't know. I still, to be honest, though, between the job that I was working that year and having 2 less kids, I still think I work harder now than I did that year. The 2 kids, man, they really fill that gap.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been a hell of a ride, and look, as downtrodden as I've been this year, one of these years, I don't know if the Reds are going to win a World Series, but they're going to have a special year where they make a deep playoff run, and this community, like when it happens, is going to be unbelievable. And it's going to pay off for every single ounce of sweat and tears and whatever else goes into this.
I agree. I mean, I still continue to do it because one, I don't know, I have just a deep desire to not want to quit things in my life. Like I feel like if I quit something, it hurts. It makes you feel like a lesser of a person. And I don't know if that goes all the way back to when I wanted to quit 7th grade football after like the first week there. And like I said, my dad said, "You ain't quitting, you ain't quitting." So I had to gut it all the way out. But I'm with you. That's what keeps me going, is that there's a chance at some point that we all are going to have a watch party somewhere on a major postseason stage, and it's going to be electric, and it will make all of these nights that just seem like, what in the absolute hell are we doing, worth it. And that's what keeps me going. So when we all look in the chat and you got, 1,500 plus people on a night like tonight watching the show, and then obviously all the people that listen in podcast form, you feel obligated to want to keep it going. And it's going to happen. I mean, I know that there's going to be the pessimistic people that will say it's never going to happen. The Reds are never going to be good, but it's going to happen. And when it does happen, I actually think that the tough years are going to make it better. Like it feels like it would be almost like a disservice to us, Nick, in a way, if we started this show and then 2 years later, like we got the perfect season and all these things. Now, do I wish that would have happened? Of course, because that means the Reds would have won. So I'm not downplaying it, but I will openly admit that it certainly is going to be better or sweeter, or whatever term you'd like to use, because we've gone through this. I mean, this is a tough season.
That's what made 2010, so special. I mean, obviously that year, like the Reds got swept in the playoffs and everything, but I still think most of us that are like diehard Reds fans, like that year was just such a magical, as cliche as that is, like year, and it was because of how bad it was. It made it more special. And yeah, I mean, when I record a video on the Reds adding Ron Marinaccio and Chase Solsky, and 3.6 thousand of you click on it, it definitely motivates me to keep going. So shout out to you guys, because I have no idea how that happens, but I appreciate it.
And people can't call us posers. Like I mean, that's the thing that cracks me up the most, is like when people are like, oh, you got to, do you even guys like the Reds? Well, one, I'm trying to be realistic. I mean, if you want me to sit up here and tell you that everything's perfect all times, well, then I probably not the show to watch. But I would say that you can't. If anything, you can hate us as much as you want at times, but the thing that you can't say is that, we didn't put the time in, or we didn't care about this organization, and therefore we shouldn't be able to reap the benefits of it. I mean, obviously Nick and I have followed them for farther than we've actually watched the show, or done the show, I should say. But we'll see. But that's a good super chat. Thank you for the super chat, and it was a healthy super chat too. I really appreciate that. That was awesome, Chad. And he's a nut cutter of all things. So, all right, MILB.
All right, everyone just went final, so we have finals. Well, sort of everyone went final. Everyone's done for the evening playing baseball. All right, we started off with AAA, where the Louisville Bats, they're suspended in the bottom of the second, but there was a notable performance other than Will Benson's 1-for-1 performance. Brandon Williamson threw 2 innings and 2 shutout innings, struck out 2, walked 1, did give up a pair of hits. This is his 3rd rehab start, through 19 of his 31 pitches for strikes. So certainly a positive development for Brandon Williamson. Down at AA, Chattanooga, they lost 7-6 to Montgomery. Lookouts, they rallied with 3 runs in the top of the 9th, but before being walked off. Lookouts, it has been a struggle. Just 5-15 in their last 20 games, and they're now 8 games out of a playoff spot. This is a team that at one point this year had the best record in all of minor league baseball. Cam Collier's struggles continue. He was 0-for-4 with the walk. Carlos Sanchez 1-for-5. Really good to see, though, Carter Graham was on base 4 times, 3-for-4, a walk, and a stolen base as well. Graham had been struggling a little bit. Good to see him getting back on track. Jay Allen on base twice. Keen Vu tripled in this one. Javi Rivera, the starting pitcher, his struggles continued. He gave up 8 hits and 5 earned runs over 4 innings. All right, down to high, they just went final. The Dayton Dragons fell 8-4 to Lake County, but the big story of this one was Justin LeBron made his Reds organizational debut, got off to a great start, singled in at bat number 1, doubled in at bat number 2. Those will be his only 2 hits on the night. He goes 2 for 5. Eric Becker went 0 for 5. Tyson Lewis was 1 for 4. Ryan McChrystal and Mason Neville both homered. Ovis Portes really struggled. He was the starting pitcher in this one. Gave up 3 runs in just 1 inning of work, walked 4 batters. But Devi Villafana continues to pitch pretty well. He came in later in the game, went 4 innings, just gave up 1 run, struck out 3 batters. Down to low A, the Daytona Tortugas, they split a doubleheader. They lost game 1 9-7. That was the completion of a suspended game, but they won game 2 7-6. Tortugas have a 5-game lead in the Florida State League East Division. Steele Hall on the day was on base 3 times. He reached base in all 3 plate appearances in the first game. Obviously, he entered the game in the 4th inning because he was not on the roster the first time this game was played, but he went 0 for 5 in the second game. Jervin Murillo went 1 for 3. Arnaldo Lantigua was 3 for 8 on the day, hit his 12th home run of the year and walked. Adolfo Sanchez was 2 for 4 with a double. Ichiro Kano was 3 for 7. Aaron Watson, Reds' second-round pick last year, he struggled today. 3 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. But Logan Tanner, he got the final 2 outs of the game for his second win as a pitcher. Logan Tanner, might remember him, a former Reds second-round pick as a catcher. And out in the Dominican Summer League, the DSL Reds beat the DSL Cleveland Mendoza 6-1. Angel Munoz was 0 for 4 with a walk, but did steal 2 bases. And how about this stat line? Angel Salio, he was on base 5 times, 4 walks, and a triple, and he stole 3 bases. Hell of a day for Angel Salio. And your Reds MILB report is brought to you by our friends at 78 Cigars. Cincinnati legend Anthony Munoz is a new venture. We're fired up to partner with it here on Chatterbox Reds. Introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars and Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 Cigars right now at both Montgomery and locations or over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head to anthonymunoz.com. Click on the 78 Cigars page and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz. Yeah, go pick up 78 Cigars. Watch a little Bengals preseason football. Maybe Craig will be smoking a 78 cigar while he's doing the live watch-along tomorrow evening for a little Bengals football. Well, not tomorrow, 2 days from now. They're still 2 days away.
That's okay, because tomorrow we got another familiar face that we've seen earlier this year, and also somebody made a trade at the trade deadline, Nick. Believe it or not, the White Sox. They got a new pitcher. Who is it?
Luis Castillo going to pitch for the Chicago White Sox. Red saw Castillo a couple weeks ago. Castillo had only faced the Reds 1 time in his entire career prior to that. Castillo, this will be his second start with the White Sox. Start number 1 did not go well. Gave up 5 earned runs in 4 innings. Start before that didn't go well. His last start with the Mariners, he gave up 11 hits and 5 runs against the Dodgers. The start before that, well, that was against the Reds when he went 7 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. Luis Castillo on the year, 3-9 with a 5.30 ERA. Hopefully the Reds can keep it going.
Let's hope so. We will find out tomorrow, as always. And lastly, before we head out, just want to say thank you yet again. Like the stream if you haven't already. And Dustin Pruitt says, when we win the World Series, imagine and close your eyes. We will remember where we were when T.J. Friedel hit for Cabrian Hayes into a double play. Boy, will we remember. It's almost like we should have a Reds Hall of Fame of obscure players. When that does happen, we could just read the entire list. The good news is I have a few of them right behind me that I'll never forget. Kevin Newman. I look back there and I laugh every so often. Did David Bell have a winning record with that team?
Sure did.
Had Kevin Newman leading off. Stuart Fairchild hitting in the 3-hole. Henry Ramos in the 5-hole, backed up by Nick Senzel, Matt Reynolds, Jose Barrero, and Kirk Casale. What a lineup. I don't know how we won any games that year, but we found a way. That was, of course, before the likes of Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McClain and everybody else that came in 2023. But that's here nor there. All right, we'll be back better than ever tomorrow. Download the podcast if you haven't. Please leave us a review if you haven't. All of your vibes, everything that you guys do on a nightly basis is much appreciated. And until then, we'll be back, hopefully, with another winning edition of Chatterbox Reds.